Audio Jungle.
Hi, this is Krish. I'm your personal life skill coach, motivator, and I'm here to help you to live your life to the fullest. Are you aware what is fear number one in this world? Fear number one in this world is not fear of snakes, it's not fear of death. Then what is fear number one? Fear number one in the world, it seems, is fear of public speaking. To come here on the stage and look at this audience and speak, it seems, is fear number one. 8 out of 10 people, it seems, are scared to do public speaking. So if you have a little bit of stage fear, don't worry, that's a normal human behavior. So what do? How do we become more powerful speaker? How do we reduce our stage fear? Few things to keep in mind. It seems British Prime Ministers like Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher were supposed to be very powerful orators. They have publicly proclaimed that they have a lot of stage fear. It seems they usually even had panic attacks. And what did they do? They use that energy, they use that fear to prepare harder, to stand in front of a mirror and to rehearse so that they can give a powerful presentation. Please remember, fear is an emotion. Emotion is energy in motion. Yes? We can use this energy, channelize it. It's like sun's rays. You can use it with a magnifying glass to create fire. This fire can be used to cook your food, or it can cook us. So we need to know how to use it. So fine. So how do we become a powerful speaker? What should we do? Step number one, tip number one that we have to do is we need to research. We need to plan. There's no shortcut. As they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Right? It's true with public speaking also. First, we need to do some research. Who's the audience whom we're going to address? What is the socio-economic background? What educational background do they come from? Right? And how long are you supposed to speak? Right? And what is the purpose of the speech? Is it to inform? Is it to educate? Or is it to inspire? Based on all these parameters, you do some research. Start collecting some information. You can do this by brainstorming, by reading, by watching videos, speaking to friends. Collect all this information and put it. Then you need to streamline it. You need to make it systematic. Now, how do you make it systematic? I personally use mind map because it gives me a lot of clarity. One simple thumb rule to remember when you do this planning is tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them, and then tell them what you told them. What does it mean? Tell them what you're going to tell them is introduction. Tell them, that's the main content. And tell them what you've told them, that is conclusion. So this is, if you can remember this will help you to plan, and this will make sure that the matter has a proper format. And what after planning? What will happen? Delivering the presentation. Point number 2. So what are the things we need to keep in mind while we deliver the presentation to make the delivery even more powerful? A few things that you must have noticed. First aspect that we need to keep in mind is the physical posture, the way we stand in front of the stage. People have different mannerisms. You must have seen when somebody is coming and making a small presentation, there's a mic stand or there's a podium and they're making a small presentation. Let's say giving a welcome address or introducing the chief guest or giving a word of thanks. I'm not speaking about when you're taking a class or when you're making a paper presentation. There you might have to move around. But we'll make a small presentation in front of a mic stand. Few things to keep in mind is, these are the mistakes people usually do. You'll find some speakers who keep doing this in front of the mic stand. Have you seen that? While they speak, they do this. This is called chained elephant speaker. Elephant which is chained, this mannerism. The second thing that you might have noticed, mannerisms, is there are some speakers who will be doing this while speaking. This speaker is called the lion in the cage speaker. They keep doing this in front of the mic stand. You must have seen the third type of mannerism. This is called pendulum speaker. Okay, these are all very distracting mannerisms. What happens is the audience get very distracted. They are looking at what you're going to do next rather than listening to what you are speaking. So first thing you have to keep in mind is when you stand behind the mic stand, take a few seconds and make sure your center of gravity is properly balanced. Make sure the weight is equally distributed in both the legs. And imagine someone has poured cement concrete till his hip and you can't move after that. Okay. The second thing that you have to take in mind while you're making a presentation is hands. Now this is a big problem for many people. When they come here, they don't know what to do with these hands, where to keep it. But let me tell you, these are two very powerful weapons a good speaker should use, because there are 3 benefits when you use hand while you do public speaking. Benefit number 1, one problem people actually face is when they come on the stage, you must have experienced it, we forget what we had planned. It's called blackout. Everything was right when you were sitting there, but when you come to the stand, we tend to forget. A short-term amnesia. So what do we do this? What can we do about this? When you use your hand, researchers have proven that you won't forget what you have planned, because there is some short circuit between your hand and your brain. You tend to remember everything that you have planned. So one big good enough reason to make sure that you use your hand when you're on the stage. Second reason why you have to use your hands. When you use your hand, the second problem people usually have is hand gets cold and it starts to sweat and we start to shiver. Have you experienced that feeling when you are on the stage? Now, when you use your hand, you won't shiver. The second reason why you have to use your hand when you're on the stage. And third reason that you have to use your hand is when you use your hand, the audience who sees you think you're a very powerful speaker, you're a great orator, they think you're very confident. So 3 good enough reasons to use your hand. How do you use your hand? You can use your fingers, you can use your wrist, you can use your elbows. In case it's a big audience, you can use your shoulders also. But use your hand, it will definitely make your presentation more powerful. And what is the third thing that you have to keep in mind when you're doing presentation? Third thing is eye contact. Many people find it very difficult to look at the audience. They look up at the ceiling, or they look down, or they look at one person, or they look at the notes and keep reading. But it's very important to maintain eye contact, is because they say eye is the window to your soul. So when you look into people's eyes, you're connecting with them. There's a rapport. So it's very, very important that you maintain eye contact. In case it's a big audience, maybe you're speaking in an auditorium and you find it difficult to look at everyone, you can use this technique. The technique is called lighthouse technique. It was the same, the lighthouse in the beach. Imagine you are the lighthouse, and imagine light is coming from your eyes, and what you do is you just zoom into different space in that auditorium. Make sure you're giving light in all these directions. You're actually not looking at anyone in particular, you're just giving light. Think that if you don't look at that area will become dark and they'll go to sleep. So it's your responsibility to make sure you look at all those regions. Now what happens is when you do this, people who are sitting in that corner will think you're looking at them. Actually, you're not looking at anyone in particular, you're just zooming in. But people will think that you're looking at them. So this is a technique you can use, lighthouse technique, to maintain eye contact. And what's the fourth one? Fourth one is you need to be pleasant when you're making presentation. Why should we be pleasant? Again, one very important reason to build a rapport, to build a connection. When you are pleasant, people like you. I'm sure you as an audience would love to see a speaker who's pleasant rather than someone who's very serious. So be pleasant when you make presentation. And the fifth point to be considered while you're delivering a presentation is voice modulation. It is very, very boring to listen to a speaker who speaks in monotone. So what do? You need to play around with the pitch, play around with the volume, play around with the pace, play around with all the aspects of voice modulation. You make the presentation more effective. It seems if you draw a pie chart on effective communication, the words you speak has got only 7% important, and 38% is the tone in which you speak, and balance 55% is a facial expression, gesture. One classic example I always give is the word good morning. I can say the good morning as good morning, or I can say the good morning as good morning. The way the word is used, the meaning changes. So play around with the tone of voice, modulate. You can connect again with the audience. You make that speech more interesting. You catch the attention of the audience. So play around with your voice modulation. So these are the 5 things you need to keep in mind when you're doing presentation, when you're doing delivering the presentation. What next? How do you make the presentation more powerful? What's the third aspect to make the presentation most powerful? The third aspect is speak from the heart. Don't speak from here, speak from here. When you speak from here, you again connect with the audience. At 99-degree water is hot. It can burn you. At 100 degrees, it can run a train. The difference is that 1 degree extra enthusiasm, involvement. When you speak, you should believe in what you're speaking. Yeah, you need to have integrity. You need to speak from your heart. When you speak from your heart, you will definitely connect with the audience. So this is a sure shot strategy. Speak from here, don't speak. Be passionate about what you speak. As somebody said, nobody cares how much you know. They would like to know how much you care. So you should fall in love with that subject. You should love the audience who's present there. You should feel that you have something very important to share with them. And with that feeling, when you start speaking, you have a lot of positive vibration. The positive vibration hits them. And then you don't have to worry. The speech is going to be very, very powerful. So speak from here. Don't speak from here. Speak with enthusiasm. Speak with passion. So how do we conquer stage fear? The only way to conquer stage fear is by coming to the stage. How do we learn to swim? Can we learn to swim by watching a video? I don't think so. So how do we learn to swim? We need to get into the pool. So if you want to overcome stage fear, you have to come to the stage. Look for opportunities. Volunteer. Take initiative. Whenever you get a chance, maybe do a paper presentation, maybe some function, be there on the stage. Every time you come to the stage, you'll actually feel much better. As Nike says, just do it. That's the only way and the best way to conquer stage fear. Keep coming to the stage. I promise you, you'll start actually loving the presence on the stage. And trust me, you will actually start getting addicted to it, because there's a high, there's a kick when you're on the stage, when making presentation, when you know you are actually touching people, when you know you are actually influencing people. So never miss the chance to come to the stage and keep making presentation, and then slowly but surely you'll become a very powerful speaker. So I'd like to wish you happy public speaking, right? And wish you all the very best, and may you be blissful. Thank you.